It's the age-old question. You're at the Uhaul dealership or the rental car agency, and the friendly man or woman across from you asks you the question, would you like to purchase our insurance?
Of course they're trying to sell me something I don't need. I have an auto policy. Am I covered or not covered?
Okay, here's our disclaimer. Of course you should talk to your agent or your particular carrier, but this is the general advice that we would give out for the carriers that we represent when it comes to rental cars or box trucks. Andy, talked about the rental car insurance.
All right, so first, where are you going? Where are you going on your trip? Are you going overseas? You going to Europe? You going to Asia? Or are you going to be in the continental U.S.? What I typically tell customers is, in the continental U.S., you're good. Outside the U.S., you need to double check. So assuming you're renting a vehicle in the continental U.S., you're going to look to your current auto policy. There's going to be liability coverage and there's going to be physical damage coverage. Whatever you have in place on your vehicle is going to extend to the rental car.
What about loss of use?
Yeah, good question. So while that vehicle that you got in an accident, that you're renting, got in an accident, it's in the shop, it's in there for a week, the rental car company cannot rent to someone else for a week. If you've got rental reimbursement coverage on your policy, that would extend to cover you for the loss of use to that vehicle.
Okay, talking about U-Haul, RVs, big box trucks, things like that. You've again got the liability, which is if you injure or run into somebody else, and then you've got the physical damage on this truck. The liability of your auto policy most times is going to extend over to the truck. However, the physical damage portion, even if you have physical damage coverage on your car, it's not going to extend to a big truck like this. So buy the physical damage coverage, and then if they offer some kind of loss of use or out of service reimbursement, buy that as well, because your policy won't cover that. But Andy, what happens if I move my mother-in-law across the country and all of her couches and TVs get stolen in the middle of the night out of this U-Haul? Am I covered?
Well, first of all, you're getting brownie points from your mother-in-law for moving her.
You're dang right.
But yes, actually, instead of looking at the auto policy, you're going to look to the homeowner's policy for coverage. Generally speaking, there's going to be 10% of your personal property limit is going to extend to your belongings, to those belongings anywhere in the world. So instead of actually looking to the auto policy, you look to the homeowners.
So I have $100,000 in personal property on my homeowners. I have $10,000 worth of coverage in the back of this U-Haul, no matter where it is.
Yep. And then what about? Is there any other place where I could find coverage other than my auto policy while I'm renting a vehicle?
Credit cards. I mean, you think about credit cards. If you check with your credit card issuer, if you have one, sometimes their coverage is actually as good or better than your personal auto policy. So that's another place, right?
As long as the charge for that vehicle is put on that credit card.
Good point.
Yep.
Well, join us again. Thanks for being here today. Join us again for another episode of Are You Covered
or Not Covered?